was all a dream.
Newstyle Radio 98.7 FM. And we're back. Haven't been around for a while. The Wednesday show seems to have been abandoned, yeah? We're just going to transmit this via the sci-fi AI series that is on Simon Cowells, Lounges TV. It's all very exciting. And what's the topic of discussion tonight? Well, the Diddy verdict's in, so we now know that he's guilty of something, yeah? And it's all very iffy, yeah? Can a satanic and corrupt USA judicial system redeem itself? Will he get 20 years? I know there's the guidelines and so on and so forth. But just to recap, those who have been living under a rock, who haven't been, following events, there's a lot of people that really, follow celebrity tittle-tattle and so on and so forth. But yeah, so Sean Puffy Combs, satanic monster that he is, has been convicted. And it was a lesser charge. It wasn't the big RICO charge, the racketeering. Or shall I say, the judge in the case and the prosecutor, very clever people, so clever. The arrogant defence, of course. This is just my humble opinion, of course. The very clever judge and feds, they know how stupid Americans are and how dumb the PhD moronic academic class is. Because people say, oh, they got PhDs, they're clever. No, they're not. And this seems like a classic, press record there, this seems like a classic setup, in my humble opinion, that when it comes to delivering the sentencing, it's going to be a case of the judge rewriting the rule books. I think he's going to get 20 years. I think he's going to get a hefty jail term. The prosecution, I think, are going for 5 years or something like 4 to 5 years or something like that. There are these federal guidelines, of course, because it's a federal, it's not state. And I just get this feeling, or is it hope? I'm crossing my fingers. Inshallah, God willing. Yes, through the wilayah of Ali and Ahlul Bayt, yeah? Let this man be locked away for a very long time. This idea that the women involved colluded, yes, of course, the money, the fame, the glamour, these things have a great hold on people, of course, the power dynamics. But overall, all these people can't all be lying, And there is that, they just want the money, man, you know what I'm saying? They want the money, it's just a money grab, man. That just reveals, because what's interesting about this whole case is, and this is the advice I've been giving people online, if you know anyone who's supporting Diddy, Sean Combs, or Jay-Z for that matter, now would be a good time to cut that friendship. I do not want people in my circle who certainly are of the view that these devilish monsters have any redeeming qualities or any mitigating. It's just no. It's just horrible. The whole hip-hop, which I'm putting on record that hip-hop is actually queer culture. Not only queer culture, but paedophile culture as well. Yes, I said the two things at the same time. Mutually exclusive, of course, because clearly people who are, inclined to same-sex relationships by law, legally. Yes, we do live, we don't live in some weird, religious sort of like cultish state, of course. And it's perfectly legal. However, there are those who profess, like the guy, I believe is an organizer of Pride, who was lambasting the author of Harry Potter. He openly gay and all the rest of it. A great advocate for obviously people in a vulnerable position. I myself have friends. I was mentored by people of that persuasion. for Hollywood VFX engineers, so on and so forth. However, convicted of raping a 12-year-old. You see, so there's precedence for what I'm saying. There's a scholarly and factual academic references. Ofcom rules, of course. We can't violate the Ofcom rules or hate speech. One has to be cogent of these matters. But anyway, back to hip hop. So in the case of P. Diddy, Jay-Z, Jay-Z's alleged for now until he's brought to book. But the satanic and devilish abuse of human beings has got to stop. And the culture of hip hop, there's Africa Bambaataa as well, who lost his case, has his case thrown out. You know, there was allegations, well, now proven now. So that is the state of affairs in regards to black hip hop culture. And again, you know, this is not to vilify any particular minority or group. It is the specifics of the activities of this now convicted Satanist, Aleister Crowley, for the Ofcom rule reference there. There you have it. So, fingers crossed that the reign of Diddy, because there are those, I mean, let's flip it, let's go in a bit deeper. There are those who say that this is all just a theatrical sort of, because Diddy is a Fed, potentially, possibly, or has Fed-like connections. And really, he's with these connections, it's all a bunch of theatre. So he's some sort of sacrificial offering. And in reality, the whole thing was to cover for the executive perverts, the upper echelon of the music industry, who may or may not have been on the tapes. But the tapes have been recovered. There was a demand that, and they're white people, or Neanderthal hybrids, as I like to call them, Caucasians. That's DNA, that's science, by the way. And they wanted the tapes. So it's all a big theatrical hoo-ha. Possibly. That's another school of thought. So there you have it. So Diddy convicted, sentencing, I think 3rd of October. He has to wait, so he's got to sit down, you know, tough it out. All good stuff, with him being in prison, of course. Next, we have the Iran-Israel war. I'm putting it 1-0 to Iran. I have to caveat that. I'm no follower of the Michel Foucault, Khomeini, Kufr, Wilaya Faqih. No, I'm not that type of Shia. A man like Aston Walker doesn't bow down to Sistani or Khamenei perverts. I don't do that. Not a man like me. But neither am I, obviously, of the Sunni milieu. You know, may Allah curse Aisha, Abu Bakr and Umar. Other scholarly academic opinions are available. You know, funnily enough, I was in town yesterday by the Salafi Dawah tent. I like to pop over to the Salafi Dawah in town. May Allah curse them as well. And to pop over to see what drivel, what satanic propaganda they're pumping out. They've got these leaflets on the Shia. And I was reading it. And it's saying how the Shia claim that Sunni blood is halal. And it's the very things that the Wahhabi ISIS were saying a couple of years ago, which they demonstrated with the killing and the murder of Alawites and Shia, all on record, all on video, of course. Ofcom rules, one has to cite one's sources. So go to YouTube, Telegram, you'll find the murder of Shia people under the Jolani satanic government. So the leaflets pumped out, you know, in the name of Dawah. And, you know, I think some of the chaps said, oh, that's Aston Walker, that's Aston Walker. And, you know, it's like, you know, I'm online. I'm a BCU STEAM maths researcher. You know, globally known, filed patents. So good, it's excellent. So to the Green Lane and the White Street or whatever, Solifi Dower crew in town. Yes, you know who I am. Brilliant, wonderful. Yeah, long may it continue. I myself say, victory is in the grave. Yeah, I only embraced Islam for what happens after death. Yeah, that you know, quote me on that. Let's, you know, all the TikTok Sunni, Salafi, Hamza Yusuf Kufar and Zaid Shakir and Murad, Abdul Hakim Murad, Kufar, Mela Kirsten. Yes, it's Aston Walker, Musa, as I was, you know, as he used to call me. And that's the hill that I am going to die on, inshallah. Yeah, victory is in the grave. That's my stance. So it's 1-0 to the Iranian regime. Well, I'll stick with the term regime. And, you know, and that's not to detract from the Natural Katai, for example. These are Jewish people of the Jewish faith who are opposed to Zionism, a clear distinction made. I call it the Sir Ronald Stores, Lord Curzon entity, for it was Israel itself was formulated, Balfour, based on the Northern Ireland Satanism. That's, you know, was an oppression of the Irish people. Again, one has to caveat one's speech in academic and historical terms for the sake of Ofcom rules. Very, very important that is. Very important that is. Good. So we have gone over the current affairs and the geopolitical happenings and goings-ons. And again, I've published a paper. I have published a paper on Scribd. I'm just going to go to it now. And again, this will be quite interesting as far as broadcast history and so on and so forth. So yeah, I've gone there. I've gone into Scribd. Oh, 761. So let me just get it up on screen on window capture. There you go. So this is interesting. This is interesting. Shall I apply for another world record on this one? I don't know. But anyway. So this is a paper that I've published. And I'll go through the title. So it's called The Malhama, Iran given 200 plus nukes versus Israel, bigger than Superman, Matrix 5 and Marvel DC. Yeah, Superman and all that good stuff. So again, this is just crazy. So this paper that I only published it a couple of days ago, it's got 761 people have looked at it, so it's gone a bit viral. And what I did is I used ChatGPT AI. You know, this is a science and geopolitical as well as a music show and all the rest of it. And I asked ChatGPT to make a game, formulate a game for RenPy, which is a Python game engine. So it's not just like news and stuff. You get to learn something when you listen to Aston Walker. Yeah, whether Sunni or Shia, it doesn't really matter. Or non-believer or devil worshipper, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I've worked for a couple of devil worshippers. Nice people generally, very generous with the money. But anyway, that's by the by. And so I asked ChatGPT to create a game, develop a game using RenPy, and the idea was for this game to simulate the battle, the war between Israel and Iran, and their backers being Russia, China, Axis, and the USA and Europe. And it was just a very interesting conversation. because the parallels between the Sunni Arabs supporting and helping the Israelis shoot down the Iranian missiles was a brilliant masterclass in hypocrisy. And there is a surah in a chapter in the Quran, Surah Al-Munafiqeen, which is about Abu Bakr and Umar. Other opinions are available, of course. Again, we have to caveat Ofcom rules, yeah? And these hypocrites were parallel to the great battle between Imam Ali and Aisha, may Allah curse her. Again, other academic opinions are available. This is an academic discussion, of course. And the defeat, total defeat of Ali, Caliph Ali, peace be upon him, defeated Aisha, the Battle of Jamal, 36 after Hijrah. So we see this continuation of the Ahlul Bayt against the Ahlul Saqifa, the Shia of Abu Bakr. Straight up, Muawiyah, may Allah curse him, Yazid, and so on and so forth. So it's just a continuation. So I factored all of that into like the game simulation, and the results were just very impressive. Now, when I also factored in, because this was another angle of the whole battle, if you will, it's a battle between Caucasians, and when I say Caucasians, I'm talking about Persian Caucasians, European Caucasians, Arab Caucasian hybrids via the Neanderthal hybrid DNA. So for those who are not up to speed, Yoruba and Khoisan, black Africans, have no Neanderthal DNA, whereas Neo-Arabs and Europeans all have this Neanderthal DNA, hybrid DNA. And the Prophet Adam, peace be upon him, made from black mud, this is Quran, is pure DNA. And then the Shia, Ahlul Bayt, are Masumin, pure DNA. And Al-Amali, Sheikh Mufid, talks about, if you want to see and this is the salient, this is the important point, I guess. If you want to look at the image and nobility of Imam Ali, then look at Adam, peace be upon him, who was made from black clay. Okay? So, scripturally, academically, scholarly, we have a precedence for the blackness and the pureness of the DNA. Scientifically, we have the pureness of the DNA. So I've added all of that into the game. Now, when I asked to put that into the game engine, ChatGPT freaked out, and it's all right. I've got the screenshots because we do the science here. We do, because peer review is vitally important. It's all very well making these statements and pronouncements, but the meat and potatoes is really the peer review. So I leave it open to Sunni ulama, Sunni sheikhs, to challenge the material, rip it to shreds, mockery, ridicule, all the rest of it. By all means. I mean, that's the only reason, because I'm not qualified to debate. I wasn't raised in the Islamic milieu. I don't possess great Arabic or Farsi skills, so I'm not a debater. I'm just not a debater. And all my contribution is to do the research, gather the materials, compile it, present it, and really see, whether it can be refuted or supported. Yeah, that's the whole idea of being a Muslim, of obeying Allah, obeying Imam Ali, obeying the Ahlul Bayt, obeying the Prophet, and seeking knowledge. At the same time, not to sort of abuse one's knowledge with arrogance and oppressing people and so on and so forth. It's a thin line in these times, of course, but clearly it's something that we need. We need to be aware that this whole Israeli, Iranian, Zionist, Shia Muslim, Sunni Muslim, ISIS, even the Ukraine, Orthodox Christians, Rome. It's 99.9%, and this is the really interesting one. It's 99.9% goes back to Satan, Iblis, and his hatred for Adam. Peace be upon him. His hatred for Black Adam. Therein is the substance, if you the substantive portion of the debate. So the Caucasian, Neanderthal, white ape war, nuclear war, common nuclear war. That's just the way it is, you know. It's destined to get worse. This is in the conclusion of the paper. It's destined to get worse. It's not going to get any better. And Malhama al-Kubra, the Great War, that's what's coming. You see, that, you know, fitna upon fitna, bloodshed upon bloodshed. That's just the reality. Eschatologically, I should say. Armageddon, so and so. All right, good. Right, so back to business. So this is polystyrene, punk icon, as you can see. Well, you can't see because you listen to it on radio. But let me play an excerpt. So this is a punk icon. She was half Somali, Sayed, Marianne Elliott Sayed. She passed on 2011. I met her on a bus in Brixton. I didn't know she was a punk icon, but she did tell me. I did a comeback gig in 2008, and I just want to share and transmit on the modern lounges TV.
I start dancing along with it. There's going to be a problem.
Cut, yeah.
I start dancing along with it. There's going to be a problem.
Anyway, you know what, I'm going to play it. Cut, yeah. There you go. Polystyrene. I hope the compressor's kicked in there. So that was me with polystyrene. I think I filmed at our house 2002. I've actually got 20 minutes. I did an interview with her. He's talking about So Solid, Miss Dynamite. She was very clued up, very, very smart, a great leader, a great intellect, and a great she really brought people together. Big up Zilla and Sid, Rubella Ballet, big them up, great people, lovely people. And so the whole point of that, adding X-Ray Spex, Polly to the Simon Cowell Lounges TV sci-fi AI is really to let the good people know that all these geopolitical connections, on her father's side, there was Somalian Muslim, sorry, I forgot to add that. And just to really bring up, she herself was a Hare Krishna, of course. And she had such a horrific time in the music business. Can't really go into too much detail, I'll leave it at that. But, yes, she was diagnosed bipolar, but she was such a great help to me in my life. Always calling me, Aston, have you eaten? Aston, how are you? Aston, you might need to sort out your mental health, Aston. She didn't say it quite like that, but she was always concerned. She was like a big sister. She was absolutely wonderful. And I think it's important that Mr. Cowell, Simon Cowell, Lounges TV, the good people at Lounges TV, you know, get blessed with some polystyrene. So I've blessed you up there, Lounges TV, with some polystyrene on your live stream. I believe it was made by a BBC engineer. I think he did the iPlayer. So big up the technical crew there. So it's all great and all good. Next, let's keep it going, keeping it cooking now. So this one is right. Just checking. Right, just checking stuff's muted. Yeah. I don't. You know. I just hope it all comes out all right. It should do. It should be all right. And let us go. DEA. Dub enforcement agents. Music is my life. Yeah. Have some of that.
Music is my life. If I didn't have the music, I'd have to die. I couldn't survive without the mic. This is the truth, it ain't a lie. Listen to side. Music is my life. If I didn't have the music, I'd have to die. I couldn't survive without the mic. This is the truth, it ain't a lie. Listen to side. Music is my life. If I didn't have the music, I'd have to die. I couldn't survive without the mic. This is the truth, it ain't a lie. Listen to side. Music is my life. If I didn't have the music, I'd have to die. I couldn't survive without the mic. This is the truth, it ain't a lie. Listen to side. Off inside your set. You ain't never gonna forget. Click on your tick deck, some fresh rep. Interact with a new concept. 90, time for the true star to shine bright. In the beat jamming with the low bass line. All of my crew inside, enjoy the ride. We take it down low, then we bring it up high. Through the roof, into the sky. Keep your pride up, hold your heads higher. Get hot, then set on fire. Do you like it like that? Don't hesitate, never gonna look back. Rhythm right in the track, boom, clap. Look sharp, like you just got slapped. Music is my life. If I didn't have the music, I'd have to die. I couldn't survive without the mic. This is the truth, it ain't a lie. Listen to side. Music is my life. If I didn't have the music, I'd have to die. I couldn't survive without the mic. This is the truth, it ain't a lie. Listen to side. Live the life you love the life you live. You're only gonna get what you give. We come in with a brand new thing to make you move and keep your body bubbling. Raise the vibes, give me the mic, turn up the set, fade the lights. Take the shade in the game of life, we maintain, but we must fight. Into 99 and I'm packed. We're coming with the sound, deep from the underground of London town, the military making you jump and bounce around. Ha ha ha. We out of sight, we got the vibes to make you feel right. All from front to the back, left to the right. Music is my life. Music is my life. If I didn't have the music, I'd have to die. I couldn't survive without the mic. This is the truth, it ain't a lie. Listen to side. Music is my life. If I didn't have the music, I'd have to die. I couldn't survive without the mic. This is the truth, it ain't a lie. Listen to side. Music is something we need to proceed in. It's out that we need. It's out to be free like the birds and the bees. Giving you what you want, what you need. The MCs and we're bringing the vibes into the party like shot treatment into your body. We innovate and create a new sensation. Whether in a club or on a station. Step back now, it's realization. We bring the sounds of the nation. Said we're moving forward like attack formation. More than just my G's I'll be chasing. No more time for hesitation, so don't hesitate. Inside the sounds that make you feel great, we originate. Music is my life. If I didn't have the music, I'd have to die. I couldn't survive without the mic. This is the truth, it ain't a lie. Listen to side. Music is my life. If I didn't have the music, I'd have to die. I couldn't survive without the mic. This is the truth, it ain't a lie. Listen to side.
Very interesting. That was from 1999. Music is my life. Now, you might have heard some anomalies in the old, what's we call it, Ujima Bar. Because I took it from a VHS, yeah? a VHS tape, yeah, and captured it, so on and so forth. So DA Project 1999, House and Garage, wonderful. It was great times, great people, lovely people. Still in contact with Richard Lally still. Big up Richard Lally and Para, DJ Para there. So music, the soundtrack of, I guess, most of our lives, damaged somewhat by the nefarious Jay-Z and Diddy and other Satanist devil worshippers, but that's by the by. The purity of the London house garage scene, house and garage, was just wonderful. People creating stuff, great nights out. In the early days anyway, it was very much like dress up, party, enjoy yourself. Things got a bit weird near the end, but, you know, other than that, yeah, it was just rave and party and so on and so forth. So it's great to be part of that. It was great to have contributed in a very visceral way via the creativity of digital filmmaking and animation. There was a bit of, you can't see it because obviously you're listening on the radio and streaming, but that's where I got into animation and digital editing. Big up Paris Walker. I met him at the 10 Rooms, coming to the end of my sabbatical in London. So I met him at the 10 Rooms when DA were performing. I still got that on tape. So big up Paris Walker, wherever you are, and Marie Mills. Great stuff. Now, that segues nicely to the world record attempt. Because for those of you who don't know, I have aligned myself with Simon Cowells Lounges TV. Hence why when I'm talking or giving an opinion, I'm caveating things and referencing things and being very careful and Ofcom rules and so on and so forth. But generally, good manners, being careful of people's feelings and so on and so forth. You know, that's not a bad thing. Yeah. You know, the debates, the current debates all around the world are rather intense. I think I just read somewhere Trump used the term Shylock at a gathering, deemed as an anti-Semitic slur, even though it's from Shakespeare, but never mind, and so on and so forth. Because as I like to tell people, I became a Muslim in 1991. That's when I took my Shahada. But I didn't become a Muslim to become an anti-Semite. I have many great Jewish friends. And in my career as a IT specialist, systems analyst, I've always been well paid, well looked after by great Jewish people, you know. Whenever I worked for Muslims, it was a nightmare, quite frankly. I spend most days, if you want to find me, if any assassins, killers and murderers or whatever, find me in the church. Yeah, I'm always in churches. I've just come from a church, actually. I like spending time with Christian people because they're very nice. They treat me nicely. And I'm always looked after, always respected. Whereas amongst Muslims, I just find them very racist, to be honest. I've had so many racist, horrible experiences over my 35 years of being a Muslim. Not by all means, not all, of course. I was treated wonderfully by Sayyid Ramadan al-Bouti, who was the scholar of scholars, if you will, in Damascus. So he's a great scholar. Kurdish extraction, I believe, Kurdish. That's a whole nother story in of itself. He was a Sunni, of course. He was close to an Alawite elite, the Assad family. But I was received, welcomed, looked after by this great Sunni scholar. And guess what? They blew him up in 2012, I believe March the 21st. You see how it works? The great people, the good ones, they just end up getting murdered. Hence, victory is in the grave. Which segues into my next vibe. So, this is the sequel to as you know, we're going for a world record, 2 world records, one with Simon Cowell streaming live, because this is all very, this is all very experimental. And what I find fascinating is me like a naive idiot, I've been called naive many times, me being so naive going to Selene, BAE Systems, Henry's, moronic, idiot, CEBE, Professor Afterlight, bunch of idiots at BCU Steamhouse, these satanic morons. Me like an idiot thinking, oh, university, oh, great. I was 48 at the time. Shame on me, yeah? And I'm thinking, oh, I'm coming here to learn. I'm going to invent things and try and, help out and blah, blah. Only to be met with just the worst people academics, British academics. I can only speak for British academics. They're the worst filth I've ever come across. Just Satan manifest. Academics in Sweden that I've met from New York, wonderful people. Academics I work with in Dublin, beautiful. Graphene, nuclear scientists as well, but British academics, horrible. Anyway, so having, gone to university, which I started in 97, 96, UCE, Periborough campus. I've been going there ever since, yeah? Well, not now, because they called the police on me. Lenny Henry did. Selene BAE Systems Henry. And banned me from the premises, right? So, experimentation. There's me thinking that academics liked people experimenting. They don't. Innovation, especially in Birmingham, they don't. They don't like it. They absolutely hate it. If you innovate for them, for whatever they're doing, whatever devil worshipping thing they're doing, wonderful. If you're kissing their ass, great. But if you as an independent thinker is innovating, you got no chance, mate. Yeah, just giving you a heads up, people. The reality. If you're not GCHQ, MI6, MI5 Nazis, and literally the new head of MI6, her granddad was a Nazi, literally, forget about it. So anyway, this whole endeavour, this whole live streaming and recording and AI and so on and so forth, it's just experimentation. The amount of hate I'm getting for applying for the world record, the world's first AI sci-fi feature film, the amount of hate is just phenomenal. Mainly from BBC Netflix editors concerned about my resources. Can you imagine that? And these are young people. I'm 55. These are people in their 20s taking umbrage. Oh, yeah, you haven't put the comment section there. It's just, and I've got all the screenshots, and it's just amazing. I think I'm up to like 31 dislikes, yeah, on YouTube. And it's just amazing. And I'm really encouraged. Right, let's just put this on record now. The more you idiots from the BBC or Channel 4 or Netflix editors or Hollywood, the more you hate the work I'm doing, the more I'm going to keep doing it. That's the trade-off. The more you're complaining and saying, oh, you think you are Aston? It's not Greek. You're not using the Greek. You're not using the Shakespeare. The more you demons keep lambasting and hey, that's what I'm here for. That's what Aston Walker is here for. Ever since Birmingham Live put me on the front cover, being arrested, 2011, riots, so on and so forth, BBC iPlayer, Aston Walker, award-winning filmmaker, Radio 4, you set the trend, you see? You put me on the front cover of newspapers. You wanted to, Guardian interviewed me and Sky News interviewed and Central Television. Great, wonderful. So now I am merely taking instruction from the BBC, from Birmingham Live, and I'm doing work with Simon Cowell and Lounges TV, publicly publishing academic work on Sunni Shia polemics, unifying it all using AI, and making work, you see, and putting it out there and promoting it, you see, because I had no idea, none whatsoever, that publicity and BBC and Birmingham Live and putting your picture on the front of a newspaper and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. You know, I didn't know you was doing it to take the fuck. I was nearly swore there. I didn't know you was doing it as a satanic mockery. So let me repay the beautiful BBC and the beautiful Birmingham Live and the beautiful BC studio. Let me repay the favour with Chinese text-to-video AI systems. Let me repay the favour with Trinity College Dublin 3D printed graphics. And let me contribute with world record attempts. I've got another 7 to come, yeah? Another 7 world record attempts for Birmingham. Just to give back to the beautiful, great and good of Birmingham academia, you see. So there's 7 more to come, and we've only applied for 2. Yeah, good. Right, so Victory's in the Grave. This is the new chapter. This is going to be the sequel to the first film. And here you go. You're blessed tonight, aren't you?
The only question you need to consider, apprentice, is this. It is never about how you are going to die. You joined the 313 Graphene Militia to serve the invisible, living, alive ones. The question you must ponder is where you go after you die. Victory is in the grave. We openly curse Aisha for fighting Imam Ali 36 after Hijra at the Battle of Jamal, and we curse the cowards Umar and Abu Bakr for killing Allah's Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Carry this message to every frequency and planet you encounter. We are the Ziz Corporation 313 Graphene Militia. Victory is in the grave. Victory is in the grave.
Okay, so that there, good. That there was Victories in the Grave, Part 2. So we're making the sequel. It's official. So yeah, I don't know what's that. If I sound a bit choked up, this is slightly emotional. Yeah, it's very emotional because all the hate that I've been getting for the first project, which we made in 2024, we entered it into the Biennale 2024 Festival of Art. So that was great. And it's now, I don't know, 8 months later. And its relevance as far as cinematic history, artificial intelligence, a world record pending. In fact, I better check, hadn't I? Let me just go online and check the old Guinness World Record. In fact, if I can check my Gmail account, I'm sure if it's a complete failure, they'll be very quick to deliver the death blow. Yeah, just checking my Gmail. Oh, nothing there. Yeah, so it's still pending. It's still pending the old Guinness World Records. So we're doing well. It's going to take, I think, about 20 weeks. I looked at the times, the turnaround time, because remember, it only cost me a £5, Lady Godiva. So there you have it. There you have it. Right, I think we're going to wrap up the show there. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Again, this is just purely experimentation. Everyone, the academics, well, in Birmingham anyway, they hate experiments for some weird reason, unless you're doing it for GCHQ, MI5, MI6 and killing people, or helping, you know, the IAEA to blow up Iranians or some weird stuff. But we continue. We continue to team up with cool and interesting people. And thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out. Back to your regular programming.
Gotta let it go. I told you a million times when you got involved that I ain't really trying to be like them other bros. Nah, I'm already stepping up on a big man throw. Them boys are running out of luck. And if we're being honest, girl, that's where you're getting stuck. So before you fall asleep, you better wake up. So are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? You better wake up. You better wake up. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? You better wake up. You better wake up. You better wake. You better wake up. You better wake. You better wake up. Baby, don't go to sleep. You better wake up. Better face me at it. You better wake up. Up to the bed. You're turning your back. You better wake up. The best thing you ever had. You better wake up now.
Amongst Muslims, I just find it very racist, to be honest. I've had so many
The
racist...
only question you need to consider, apprentice, is this. It is never about how you are going to die. You joined the 313 Graphene